Hey everyone, this is Ryan with Select Characters, and today I want to do a spotlight about a game, or a game mode rather, that I've been playing as much as possible in the past few weeks, and it's a game that I actually thought I'd never buy. This is the Battle Royale mode of the zombie apocalypse survival game, H1Z1. In Battle Royale, players are put into a free-for-all battle against all the other players in the game, either individually or in small groups up to 5 players. The goal of the game is to stay in the safe zone as long as possible or until you or your team wins the game by outlasting everyone else. So what is this safe zone for? Well, there's poison gas that creeps in outside of that zone, and if you stay in it too long, you're gonna die. In Battle Royale, players are initially dropped into a lobby holding area named the Box of Destiny, and the Box of Destiny is an interesting place. Here's pretty much all you need to know about it and what your experience in the box will be. So you'll wait in this magical place until 100 players have joined the lobby, and at that point a timer starts and up to 50 additional players can join, making the max cap of the game 150 players. When the game begins, all the players are airdropped via parachute into the map below, which contains a large amount of gear, including but not limited to armor, clothes, weapons, and ammunition. There are also airdropped loot crates that fall from planes which contain the best gear in the game, but approach them at your own risk because the airdrops are very highly contested areas and planes actually drop bombs on them also. So if you do end up at an airdrop, don't take your time while getting the gear. Get it and run. The beginning of the game is pretty much a mad scramble for the best things available, as well as a search for vehicles, which become pretty invaluable later in the game. The early part of the game is where most players die, and the pack whittles down quite fast. If you make it past just the first 20 minutes, you're safer than if you had just dropped in. After the craze in the beginning, you won't have much time to catch your breath, as the safe zone will be marked and you will be alerted that the poison smoke will begin encroaching on the map. If you're lucky enough to have gotten a car by this point, you'll be fine, but if you don't, you'd better start running pretty fast. From this point on, you just have to stay alive according to whatever strategy you prefer. There's 2 modes of H1Z1's Battle Royale, regular and hardcore. Regular is the game I just described to you, and hardcore includes things like zombies, nighttime, and you can only play it solo, unless you know some crafty techniques to recognize allies in a game that I'll let you discover on your own. But if you want allies, you might as well play just the regular version. The only minor problem there is that people can use third-person camera. When I first saw a friend playing Battle Royale, I was kind of conflicted towards buying H1Z1. When H1Z1 first released, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the microtransactions and the honesty with which Sony Online Entertainment talked about them. However, they did kind of make up for it by offering no questions asked refunds for anyone who wanted one. I had also heard a lot about hackers being a huge problem in the beginning, so I just avoid what I thought was going to be another DayZ clone, and just hearing all of this really turned me off from the game. But after stepping back and letting H1Z1 develop a little bit more, we have to give credit where it's due. Battle Royale is a thrilling game mode, and I think H1Z1 pulls it off very well for a game that's still in alpha development. And I know the phrase still in alpha sounds like nails on a chalkboard to a lot of us by now, but the fact stands that at the end of the day, an enjoyable game is an enjoyable game. The reason I want to highlight H1Z1's Battle Royale is that this is the best example of a survival game giving a player a fast-ish game mode that gives us the same authentic stress and intensity that the survival genre does. While those moments come only occasionally in traditional survival games, H1Z1 has packaged it into a compact mode. I'd say on average, the games tend to last about 35 to 45 minutes, unless you die right at the beginning. During the entirety of the game, you feel as if you need to be looking over your shoulder. Though some places on the map are safer than others at times, there's nowhere in the game that you can feel really at ease, and you know that provided you survive long enough to get past that first murder fest, you'll most likely die in an exhilarating firefight towards the end of the game. Now, while there's a lot I like about Battle Royale, there's a handful of issues that I expect to see taken care of, and I have a personal policy against reviewing games before they're out of early access, so I won't dive into those gripes that I have, but I want you guys to have the comfort in knowing that Battle Royale in its current state was worth the $20 price tag for me, and the issues that that I have in the game aren't things that I wouldn't expect to be fixed by the time the game releases. To wrap this up, I want to leave you guys with some of Ryan's probably not so pro tips for H1Z1. I usually play with a group of friends, and provided we don't get killed right off the bat, we tend to make it to the top 10, 15 most games, and occasionally we win. So here goes. Number 1, don't airdrop near people. The first thing everyone's going to try to do is find a gun and establish somewhat of a safe area before they really start looting. This means that if someone hits the ground 3 seconds before you, they're probably going to have a gun before you even make it to your first building. So if you can avoid it at all costs, try to drop by as few people as possible, or try to drop by yourself ideally, or with allies. Number 2, be the first one to the safe zone or the last one, but don't be in the middle. So this means that the safest places are at the center of the safe zone or the outskirts. So in the center, everyone's always trying to get to a safer spot in this game. So oftentimes, if you are in the center of the safe zone, all you need to do is find a good spot and pick off some people as they come to you. The outskirts offer perhaps a safer but slower game. Hug the edge of the smoke, use it to protect an entire flank for your team, or guard your backs with it. And in my experience, that play style leads to the highest survival rate, although it's not the most exciting way to play the game. When it comes down to it, you just don't want to be the guy in the middle who's trying to run to the safe spot towards someone who's already camping and away from people who are at the edge of the smoke. Number 3 is an easy one. Airdrops equal death. I've never been to an airdrop that didn't end in us getting killed, shot at, or bombed. If you go to an airdrop, especially with a team, some people are gonna die. Just accept that as a fact. I try to avoid airdrops at all costs. Number 4, the goal of this game mode is to win, not to kill people. And it's tempting to fire on someone when you have an advantage, but sometimes it's better to just let someone go on by. You have to remember that every time you put someone else in danger, you put yourself in danger. So staying safe is a priority. Number 5, this may be more of a preference thing, but my number 5 is stay on the move. It isn't optimal in my opinion to sit in one place for too long, because while you're sitting still, other players are getting helmets, body armor, camouflage, guns, and ammunition. This doesn't mean go crazy looting, it just means be sensible about where you are and when you loot, and try not to stay in any one place more than you need to. Hopefully these tips can help you guys out there stay alive. I wish you guys the best if you decide to play this game mode, and I hope you enjoyed watching the spotlight of H1Z1's Battle Royale. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and thank you so much for watching.